because I don't care.
I know that's what you want to
I
know.
love the Premier League.
I know.
Oh, I've been dying for the past 2 weeks because we haven't been able to break it all down. Where are we going first? We're going to the Emirates.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Um,
Are we going to be one of those podcasts? Well, we go to the Emirates and it was 2-2 Spurs. Harry Kane and Eriksen scored. And then
I wanted you to. I thought you were gonna do an English accent.
I was going to, then I coughed. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
good. Nah, let them get their English accent off. Yo, get Jose off TV. Someone gotta hire Jose.
Please hire Jose.
Why is Jose on TV, man? They're doing him so dirty.
I know.
How is Ollie and Frank hired? We're going to get to those two bumps in a
We'll
second.
get to those.
But how are they hired? Jose's on Sky Sports. This is
I thought it was BT.
Is it BT?
Yeah.
I swear he's on Sky Sports.
Oh,
for
so
Sunday.
maybe it's double dipping.
Why is Jose being a thotty?
I don't know.
For the English media, like, get him a job.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't worry. He's just waiting in the wind.
Someone gotta hire him. Like, this is crazy.
No, but about the game, open.
I don't even care about the game. I don't care about the game. How do you feel after watching it? How do you feel? Because I'm a producer right now. Because we know who 1A and 1B is in that league. They've already set that standard.
Yep.
But we were kind of trying to figure out who was going to be third and fourth.
Well, you said at the beginning of the year that you have Tottenham as third.
Yeah.
I'll say it. On paper, you feel that Tottenham is the third best team. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're and we're going to do a real deep dive on them in a few minutes.
Do you want to reassess that statement?
No, because that's going to be part of my deep dive.
Okay.
But I still think behind all the BS that we've seen,
Yeah.
because they haven't played one good game this season.
No.
They barely got out of Fulham.
Yep.
I mean, not Fulham, Villa.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
They played terrible against City.
Yep.
They lost to Newcastle.
Correct.
And they goddamn could have lost here.
Yeah.
So they played like crap.
Yeah.
But the reason why I can't put anyone else above them is because United and Chelsea are doing what they're doing, that nonsense. And then we go last week where we got David Luiz making stupid decisions against Liverpool.
Oh, well, he didn't play very much. Didn't play any better this week.
And then this week,
Son ghosted him.
this week we got them getting killed on the counter. And we got Leno pushing the ball to Eriksen. And then we got who made the foul on Son? Was it Socrates?
No,
or was it Xhaka?
Xhaka.
And then we got that. So that is why Spurs are good. That's why Spurs should be the third best team.
Yeah.
Because
honestly, when Spurs scored that first goal, I thought to myself, holy moly.
hey, man.
Could you not hold on to that weak ass shot?
Hey, Leicester's third right now, right? Leicester's third.
Don't sleep on that team, by the way.
No, I'm sleeping.
No. Don't sleep on that
Oh,
team.
are they with the league?
What?
Nothing? I don't know.
No.
Just say it on record.
No, there's. I'll tell you, and I'll take a word out of Jose's book. There's 3 teams that are going to win this league. Have the possibility of winning this league.
Leicester's not one of them.
No, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Manchester City B team.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
That loser.
That's
why he's not employed.
Because he's ripping his old employers. No, I honestly, I understand where you're coming from with the Spurs. And we have yet to see the best of Spurs, and the other 3 teams, United, Chelsea, and Arsenal, are really what they are. I didn't see anything from that game that, if I was an Arsenal fan, impresses me. Other than Guendouzi had actually a pretty good game. But the rest of that team, David Luiz at center back, that's not working out for you. Aubameyang and Lacazette are going to keep scoring. If they could only figure out how to defend. Only if they could figure out how to defend.
We look at that game. Yeah, I don't think Spurs played that well at all.
No. Again,
that's first thing, Spurs.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that Arsenal very much could have won that, like you said.
Yeah.
But again, defensive mistakes.
Yeah.
When I look at the Arsenal side to it, Lacazette has to get going. I know, like, Unai's a really good coach. Because I feel like if someone else was coaching that, if like Wagner was coaching that team, they'd be much worse than they are. Like,
Yep.
like Unai has a plan,
Yeah.
but I killed them for their transfer business this summer, rightly
Okay.
so, because
Yep.
I feel like to get David Luiz on the last day showed me that you were never going to get a center back.
Yeah.
If David Luiz didn't come out and like voice his displeasure for Frank or Chelsea,
Oh no, they weren't. They weren't. That wasn't in the plans.
they weren't going to get a center back.
No.
And then look, what would they be left with? Like really, what we think about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that first. So I just feel like they're so imbalanced, and when the transfer window closed, I was like, they're gonna have to outscore teams to win games.
That's what we said.
Right? And I look at them from the front, and on paper, that front three should look good. I feel like Lacazette's gonna have to somehow allow those runners in behind. They looked good against Liverpool before they got battered.
Correct.
I've stated that, and I feel like, and I've told you about Nicholas. And
Yeah.
that he can only play one way.
Yes.
And we're seeing that
Correct.
real fast.
Yeah.
He only play one way.
I read a comment of, wait till he gets going.
But he can't.
I'm waiting.
He can't get going unless he's running into space. Because besides that, he can't beat his man to save his life.
No.
But I'm just putting out faith there that Unai could help him develop into the player that people like think he could be.
Okay.
Okay. But I look at them, and the one thing that they do have some hope for is the midfield.
Yeah.
Xhaka got to get out of there.
Guendouzi had a very good game.
Yes.
I said that I thought that was maybe one of his better games in an Arsenal.
Yeah. Second half
Second half.
specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at like what is their best three?
Up front? Or
No,
in
no, in
midfield?
midfield. Well, we know their best three up front. Who's their best three in midfield? I don't think it's hard.
Guendouzi,
Okay.
Tyrrell.
Okay.
I don't know who would your third?
It's either Jacques or Ceballos.
I would go. I don't rate Xhaka very high.
Not a lot of people do. So you put Ceballos.
Yeah.
And we've seen three elements of Ceballos. We've seen Ceballos against a Burnley side that's not really going to press him because they're going to sit deep, and he dominates them.
Yes.
We see Ceballos go to Anfield, which is probably one of the toughest environments to
And
go
get
to
bossed around.
in Europe. One of the toughest environments in England, and definitely one of the toughest environments in Europe.
Yep.
He goes there, and they press the hell out of him.
Yep.
Which is kind of like a wake-up call, which I'm not surprised. And then he comes into this game, and I feel like he changed it because unlike the other three, when he gets the ball, one, he could control it and kind of control the tempo of the game.
Yes.
And he could beat markers when they're coming to him.
Yeah.
So I like him. And I would like to feel like Torreira, Ceballos, and Guendouzi is their best three. But when we look at the best teams in Europe, or more so, let's just
look at England.
Let's just look at the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
One has Fabinho, one has Rodri,
Yeah.
or could toss in Fernandinho there.
Correct.
And then when we look at the other three, look at the problems. Spurs don't have anyone to play there.
Nope.
It's Winks or Sissoko or Ndombele, which is not a Rodri or Fabinho.
No.
Chelsea don't have Jorginho.
Conte.
Conte's more box to box.
Okay,
I know they
fair
want to put. I know they want to put him there, but
Yeah.
that ain't him.
Okay. So
Uh,
Jorginho.
And then United have Pogba.
your boy Paul.
But they have my boy Paul. Okay, they got my boy Paul just chilling. So we look at that, and I feel like that's the biggest problem. And it's not easy to find that player, but I feel Arsenal need that player.
Yeah.
They've always needed that player.
I think the last time they had a player was Patrick Vieira.
Yeah, but he wasn't even that player. Were they trying to
No.
label him that player? Wasn't it him and Gilberto?
Yeah.
Gilberto was more of that player.
Okay.
But even then they had when they were doing really well before injuries hit Ramsey, they had Mikel Arteta there. And
Yeah.
although he's not that type of player, he was able to sit and play passes around. He actually, when Aaron Ramsey was at his best, it was because Arteta sat and Ramsey was able to just push forward and do
Correct.
what the hell he wanted to do. That was
Correct.
when the last time Arsenal looked like they were in somewhat of a title hunt up until like December or something.
Yeah.
So I look at that and it's kind of like, okay. Oh, they had Diaby too, but he always got hurt.
Yeah. No.
So Arsenal, like, I feel like that base, they need to figure out the central midfield. They have the attack, and that will develop with time. And the defense, like there's nothing that you could do about it now. That is who they are.
But they're not going to do anything about that defense for the rest of the year. That is because we have said this on a number of
You don't
occasions.
think they're going to do anything in January?
No, I don't think that's a transfer window that
I know that
you do very much business in. And if you are, you're going to pay
Premium.
a premium for it.
Premium.
So this is going to be a running
Yeah.
discussion that you and I are going to have on this defense.
Yeah, but you see, I've accepted it, so I don't really care.
No, I know.
But what I've always said for them is that I don't think they got to go out and get a Delit or like go the Harry, because they could have got Harry Maguire, but they were smart and they're like, we're not paying.
No. But our thing is they need a truly not world class. They truly need a top center back.
They need someone that could complement Socrates if Socrates is going to be the second guy.
Correct.
That's all. All I ask for. If Socrates is going to be that guy, that's definitely going to play.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to be holding in the future or whatnot.
Right.
Or if it's going to be one of those two, just get someone that complements them. I don't need you to get the next big thing or the big thing. Yeah. Pause. I don't need you to get any of those. But get someone that complements them so you could build the foundation.
Yep.
That's all I ask for them. So that's Arsenal. And they could have won this game, but they made the mistakes that they did in the first half because I thought they pressed well, but then Son was killing them.
They played well for the first 10 minutes, Arsenal.
And then Son was killing them on the counterattack, and Spurs were finding a way through. But then I get to Spurs. And the one thing I'll say about Spurs is that under Pochettino, they've matured because they know how to play in these big games now. Mm-hmm. I count on them to get results in these big games.
Oh, so do I.
They've gone to the Emirates and they've gone to City, and they have not played well at all.
So just a quick question before you go on your Spurs. Do you feel that this was a 0.1 for Spurs? Or you
given the way that things turned out, yes.
Right.
Because they went to the Emirates, they were up 2-0, I know, but if you're up 2-0 and you lose that lead and you hang on, yeah.
So that's points dropped then.
Well, I don't think there's any there's no winner there, but because they're the away team,
that's what I mean.
And because the way the game was shifting, they look like the ones that were going to lose in the final 45 minutes. I'll give it to them as a point earned, but there was no winner.
Okay.
I think they both lost. And ha ha to anyone who thought that Spurs were in the title hunt this season. That's all I gotta say. This is my problem with Spurs. And I think it's gonna be a very long season for them now. Because I didn't know all this stuff was transpiring, which is why we gotta get the little people to come in. Yeah. And even though you may be biased about your team, like just come in and talk, and we'll have a talk. But I didn't know all this shit was happening behind the scenes. I was always wondering why Vertonghen wasn't playing in the opening. He played terrible, by the way.
Yep.
I didn't wonder why Vertonghen wasn't playing, why Eriksen wasn't starting. But and logical me should have thought that, oh yeah, they're looking for moves out.
Correct.
And now they're staying. And I think this is the last season for them, for Spurs.
Absolutely it is.
Because the way Pochettino is talking, he wants out. And he's waiting for Zidane or Ole to get fired.
Correct.
Because he's the front runner.
For both, actually.
Yeah. Yep. So he's a front runner for both. So he's waiting, and there's a good chance that both of those bums may get fired.
Actually, I think he's the front runner for the second.
For Madrid?
No.
Or for United?
United.
Okay.
Because the guy on BT, Sky, and
Jose?
Whatever other ones he's bootlegging over there.
Yeah.
For me, he's the front runner for Madrid.
Okay. Understandably so. I'm not going to debate that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the way things are going for United, we said that they made the mistake in not hiring Poch to begin with.
Correct.
But the way that Poch is talking, he wants out.
Yeah.
He ain't talking like he wants to stay.
No.
And he's challenging the players.
Yes.
Challenging the board. Yeah, he wants out.
Yeah.
The way he could have handled those situations with Eriksen and Vertonghen so much differently.
He would have handled it differently if this was 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I think that's where you're going. So you've seen a different attitude of Poch.
And those players want out. And then the whole fullback fiasco that they let Kieran go.
Which was a mistake.
Well, I told y'all Kieran just had a bad year.
Yeah.
Kieran showed it at Atletico.
Yep.
But and now they have no right back or left back. We got to see Davinson look like Davinson can't play his own position. So how is Davinson going to play a right back? He can't play his own position well.
Yep.
Walker Peter got hurt.
Yep.
Foyth got hurt.
Yep.
So it's like
is Danny Rose still playing on that left wing?
Yes, and not well.
And that's a
he
problem.
was at fault. He was at fault for the first one. The clearances.
Yeah, okay.
They couldn't clear the ball.
I think we're gonna see
the second one he ran. Well, the second one, Aubameyang ran across him and Vertonghen.
Yeah, that's right.
So one of them got to pick him up.
But I feel it's more
Vertonghen.
You got to follow that run.
It's more Vertonghen, obviously.
Yeah.
But just going off someone that's played that position, it's like if I know my center back's beaten, I'm tracking that run.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
obviously easy. It's obviously easier said than done because the speed at that level is much higher. And
Yeah.
it's like split second.
And the only thing is that I'll argue against you because I've played in both those, in that center back position and the right back position.
Okay.
And when that forward is making that run, I expect my center back, he's cutting across the box. I expect my center back to at least follow him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm not giving Danny Rose a pass. I'm just saying that if any center back, that's their job to cut that off.
Okay. Fair enough.
In general.
No. Fair enough. But I look at that fiasco, the Pochettino factor, the two players that want to leave, the fact that last year they hit that ceiling where they're never making another Champions League final again.
Not with this squad.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to say again. They're not making it with this squad. They're not going back this year.
No.
They had their chance, and they lost to the better team. But I just feel like they've hit that ceiling. They've had the same core for the past few years, and I don't think that they could get any better. I feel like if the manager's not willing to go the extra mile anymore because he's burnt out and wants somewhere else to go, if other players are looking for new destinations, Son, like I've always said, Son has a window, and I also think that he can only play to a certain style if the space is there. Mm-hmm. I think he's a better Nicolas Pepe.
Yep.
I feel like Harry has to do too much if Eriksen isn't there. Harry reminds me of Benzema to a degree, where they're so good at everything that they do too much if the service isn't there.
Correct.
There are times where I see Harry going deep, going to the left. He's trying to create, but it's like if he was just a goal scorer, he would just be in that box. But because they're so good, they move around, and if there's no other legitimate goal scoring threat around them, or no creative threat, then their game suffers. Which is why Harry at times is isolated, then he moves around.
Correct.
And then Dele, we'll see. Lamela has been playing well. Lucas is Lucas. Lucas and Lamela, you know their ceiling.
Yep.
I don't know if Harry Winks is gonna progress any more further.
Yep.
Under this regime. Sissoko should not be playing center midfield if they want to go to the next level.
Correct.
Ndombele looks promising, but we'll see how his season progresses.
First year in England as well.
There's just so much. And if the other teams weren't so incompetent, we could have a discussion about Spurs not finishing the top four. But because the other teams are so incompetent in various aspects, they should be there. But I feel like this is where we have to have a legitimate discussion about them, because I don't know if they're going to be able to turn the corner and meet the level that they hit last year or even go further. And it's always tougher to do that when the other two teams are maintaining their level and possibly getting better.
Yep.
So that's my thing with Spurs. And I feel like we're going to get my boy in. He's a big Spurs fan. Went to the Champions League final last year.
Good.
Like, diehard. We have a discussion with him. We're going to chop it up with him. And because I really want to know, like, what else is going on behind the scenes. Because what I'm seeing right now, and I know it's early, but it's the thing is that the writing's been on the wall. And they've relied over the past few seasons on different players stepping up at the right time.
Yep.
But if it's not a cohesive, and I hate using that word, but if it's not a cohesive movement amongst everyone playing to that level, like we see with Liverpool, like there's at least 6 or 7 players that are playing well.
But and Klopp's come out, and even Klopp sounds like this is his last year, possibly at Liverpool. I almost feel like even in our daily lives, or when you're at a job for X amount of years, you get to that point where you do need a change. And
so that's a Fergie.
Yeah, but look what he left behind.
That was like 20 years later.
Yeah,
he held it down.
Look at Arsene. But I feel that football has changed since they were there. And I feel like now every manager does have a shelf life. You can look at Max at Juve. You know, he lasted, what was it, 5-6 seasons at Juve. But at the end of the day, every manager has a shelf life, and I feel that that's almost what we're starting to see with Poch at Spurs. Whether he leaves at the end of the season for another club or whatnot is yet to be seen. But I can see where you're coming from with that. His attitude has changed, and him wanting or even forcing himself to get out of there.
Daniel got to be spicy and just fire him.
Yeah.
Daniel got to be spicy and fire his ass. No, but it's not even Klopp's Klopp somewhat to a degree of Guardiola, but I'm surprised that Klopp's been able to maintain it. I actually think he'll stay. Is that I expect Klopp's teams to drop off a bit, but they're kind of maintaining it. We'll get to them in a second.
Yeah.
But it just comes to a point where, like, if it's not working, it's not working. I feel like if Spurs invested in Pochettino's plans, more so than just getting him Ndombele and letting everyone else walk and then not replacing them, then perhaps he'd be more inclined to stay.
Right.
I don't think he has an issue there, but it comes to a point where if your employer isn't matching your needs, because the employer should treat the employee with the same respect that
Correct.
the employee
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you really value your employee, then you'll do whatever you can to ensure that they stay unless they get an offer that they can't refuse.
Correct. And if
United ain't that offer.
No.
so Poch know that. If it was Real coming to him,
yes,
with the money that they invest in Zidane,
Correct.
I'd be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But United ain't there.
No.
But United will definitely, to a degree, give him what he needs more than Spurs will.
Financially. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that if he could, if United really wanted to get Ndombele, they could have really pushed that.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like everyone was fighting for his signature.
No.
And he went to Spurs.
Yeah.
So no one was really coming at him like that.
No.